Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, the WNBA owners want to know where their money is. Also, there's a new fastest robot in the world. All that and more on the way next. It is the Hudson Show from RadioU. Thanks for checking us out. And be prepared as we head into this fall season for more and more dry weddings. They are becoming more of a trend where couples are choosing not to stock any kind of alcohol at their weddings. And the reason being, like, you might think, oh, because what? It's expensive? It is. But that's not why. It's because couples are concerned that their wedding receptions will turn into more of a political debate, if you can even call it that, and less of a time of celebrating with family and friends and love and togetherness. And so by hopefully putting away the booze, they hope that that will also put away some of the political arguments that may crop up around the election. Now, for me, I just have two warnings about this. One is that for many of the people I know, it doesn't matter how sober they are the people that are going to argue about politics. So you can take all the way, they may never have had a drink in their life for all I know. They will still try to argue politics. So I don't know if this would help all that much with that. And on the flip side, I think there's also people, not that they enjoy talking politics, but there's people that are like, if this is a dry wedding, I'm not even going to go. And they would put up with all the politics in the world as long as it meant that there was a full bar that they had unfettered access to. So, I mean, there's problems with all of them. You just have to make the choice that's right for you. But I think for each of us, even if you love talking politics, you love getting into debates, take a hard look in the mirror before you go to any weddings, family gatherings, just before you open your front door, before you type anything into your phone or computer, and just think, does anybody else really need to hear my thoughts on this? Is this going to actually push anything forward, or is this just going to make somebody else mad? You just got to think, is it actually really going to make a difference, or is this just me typing because I have thoughts and opinions? Maybe I should think that before I record things for a podcast. It's a Hudson Show. One of the wildest things I've seen in a college football game happened over the weekend. Georgia, Texas. If you were watching, Texas is down. They're at home. Carson Beck, quarterback for Georgia, throws an interception. It gets returned almost all the way, right down into the red zone. And then it's waved off. The interception waved off because of a bad, an objectively bad holding call on Texas. It wipes out the interception. They throw the flag. Then the Texas fans start throwing beer cans, water bottles onto the field because it was such a bad call. And it really was that bad. But this is that's all that. Not crazy. Bad calls in football games, sure. What's crazy is the game's delayed a minute or two because they had to clean up all of the beer cans. And it was funny. The cheerleaders were out there picking up all the beer cans, whatever. And then the officials come back and they pick up the flag and they're like, actually, the interception stands. There's no foul on the play. Texas ball. And I'm just so confused. Did the fans throwing the beer cans on the field actually overturn the call? Did the officials do that because they were afraid of the fans? They probably were right to be, because it's a crazy thing to do, to throw. They were throwing full water bottles. You get hit in the head with one of those, you're done. You're done from that height. But I kind of thought they were going to throw a flag on the fans and literally call an extra penalty on Texas. Instead, they call off the penalty. I feel like what actually might have happened was, or I guess let me put a scenario this way. Let's say they don't throw the cans on the field. I don't think that call gets overturned. And I think it's just because they had time. The officials had time. They're like, did we really just throw it? That was a bad flag, wasn't it? Why don't we wait for why don't we discuss this? I think that's what happened. I don't think they were afraid of the fans. I don't think that, they were threatened to overturning the call. But I do think that pause in the action gave them enough time to wake up, open their eyes, and go, that was a really stupid penalty we just called. It didn't help Texas. They still wound up getting trucked, which leads me to my next point, that in college, does it feel like we don't have a real number one team? Oregon's number one now, and they beat Ohio State, which was impressive, but do they really feel like they should be number one? But then Georgia got dump trucked by Alabama, who now sucks because they lost to Tennessee. That's their second loss of the year. So who's the number one? We really don't have a number one team. I don't know. Is it Army? Is it Navy? They're undefeated. I'm not sure. I guess that's the beauty of college football this season, is that we don't know. We're going to get 12 teams in the playoff. 8 of them probably shouldn't be there, but we're not going to know who's going to be the champion until the actual game, which feels unique to this year. I'm here with producer Aly, massive Guardians fan. How's that going for you?
Oh, it's been rough. It's been sad the past couple of days, not going to lie.
So what was it? Saturday night was the final game for the Guardians. They lost at home in front of the home fans, too.
It was terrible. Game 5 went to 10 innings, and it was tied 2-2 going into those 10 innings. And then, of course, Juan Soto hits a 3-run bomb in the top of the 10th inning, and Cleveland has no answer for that in the bottom of the 10th. And so the series is over, and now the awful Yankees are going to the World Series.
Yeah, that's so that's what the Guardians, they're out. It's been a few days now. But I know you're a big baseball fan too, and I'm a pretty big baseball fan. I want to talk about this World Series. And so, first of all, can you relate the Yankees and the Dodgers being in the World Series to like any other sport? Like, if you're not a huge baseball fan, what that feels like?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the two biggest dynasties in baseball for sure. Two of the teams that have been around the longest and have the most history in Major League Baseball. I don't know exactly who I would relate them to. NFL, the teams have obviously not been around as long as they have, but there's dynasties that you could compare them to. The Cowboys, you could kind of compare with some of the history the Cowboys have had. If you wanted to talk about basketball, maybe some of the dynasties you could think of there would be like the Lakers and Celtics or, the Warriors when they were on their big run. These are just two very big markets, two extremely big teams with great history that spend a lot of money. So it's always championship or bust for them each season.
That's the thing. It's the money to me that because there's no salary cap in baseball, and we can't be too upset about it because it doesn't ordinarily work. The Yankees haven't been to the World Series in 15 years. Yeah. But it still feels wrong anytime they do make it, if you're not a Yankees fan. I like that you said Lakers and Celtics, though. It feels like that because, like, in history, right, the Lakers and Celtics were so dominant for so long that's kind of what the Yankees are, too. The difference with the Lakers and Celtics is, like, they played each other every year, so there was a rivalry. The Yankees and Dodgers, we don't even have a rivalry. Mm-hmm. There's not, like which side do you pick? They both spend a lot of money. They're both hateable in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most playoff matchup in baseball, like the most often has been the Dodgers and the Yankees. So I will say that for this series, I guess there is somewhat of a rivalry there.
But all of those matchups took place like before we were born, before the players were born.
When the Dodgers were in Brooklyn.
Right. It doesn't really, I don't really feel like that counts. But you want to know the bad news, Aly, for you and I as Yankees haters and as like this, like we don't want to watch this World Series. We might get sucked into it just out of sheer, like, we're going to hate watch it, right? But the worst is that this is going to be great for baseball because way more people are going to watch. And you get, like, all of the diehard fans that have a team that they love are going to be upset and you don't want to watch the Yankees. But if you're a casual fan, you're going to go watch because it's the two biggest teams in the biggest markets. And think about, like, college football, right? For years, you had the biggest brands, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, were just in the championship over and over and over again. And college football is as big as it's ever been before.
Yeah.
This is going to be the biggest ratings boost. Like, you don't think more people are going to watch the Yankees Dodgers than Rangers Diamondbacks. And so this is what they want, and that makes it even worse.
Absolutely.
Rob Manfred should not be rewarded for this. He called the trophy a hunk of metal, and now he's going to get to hand that hunk of metal to one of these two evil teams.
Evil.
It just upsets me. It's a good thing. You know what? It's a good thing there's a lot of football on for all of us to watch. To distract ourselves from this. Guess how much the WNBA made this year? The season just ended. Do you know who won? It's the New York Liberty. The WNBA made negative $40 million this year. It's true. And apparently the owners not pleased. This is the most popular the WNBA has ever been, and yet it's still losing money. Hand over fist, $40 million in the negative this season. To be fair, it was projected to lose $50 million this year, so it beat expectations, but the expectations are just so low that I guess maybe it's hard not to. The WNBA, believe it or not, has never made money in 26 years. of existence, the WNBA has never made a profit. That's something that, was for a while tolerated. But now, since it's gained in popularity and it's still losing money, some of the owners, which in most cases are also NBA owners, getting a little upset with the leadership, like Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA, also tied to the WNBA, getting a little upset that, what are we supposed to do? If it's this popular and it's still losing money, what is the plan here? Apparently, there isn't really one. Can I say this? And this is, first of all, in a way sincere. It's not a knock on the WNBA necessarily, but did anybody else kind of think the WNBA was like nonprofit? Like that the owners were getting, this is a write-off? Because, we've known, right, that it's not been making money. It is shocking to know that it didn't make money this year when it seems like it was so popular. But then again, was it? Because did you even know that Caitlin Clark was in the playoffs and then out? Did you even know that the finals were going on and that the Liberty just won? It was more popular, but still not popular enough to make any money. It's the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. What made money this weekend? Horror movies. Smile 2, easily number one at the box office. It made $23 million. That might not seem like that much if you follow movies in the box office, but it's actually better than they expected. And it's better than the first one did when it came out in theaters in its opening weekend, and it made eventually $217 million. So I guess that's a good sign for Smile 2. Not only did that make a lot of money, but so did Terrifier 3 in its second weekend. The unrated horror movie. I was reading that people were buying tickets to The Wild Robot and using those tickets to instead sneak into Terrifier 3 because they weren't allowed in. I think that's a mistake. You probably would have been much happier at The Wild Robot. But nevertheless, Terrifier 3 came in at number 3, making $9 million. And then you had The Wild Robot at number 2, making $10 million, but probably bolstered by the fact that people were, by the rumor anyways, that people were buying tickets to it to see Terrifier 3 instead. I bought tickets to The Wild Robot, and I actually went and saw The Wild Robot. I did not see Terrifier 3. I wasn't able to be talked into that. It was me, some friends, and we were like, should we watch? We all said, definitely not horror movies. And so The Wild Robot was the other choice. I don't understand. I guess I understand, but it has rave reviews. The Wild Robot does. And I saw it and I was like, I'm not sure about the rave reviews. It is very visually stunning, but just not that great of a story to me. It's just I didn't have an attachment to any of the characters. There's a duck or a goose or whatever. It's cute, but that wasn't enough to I was nowhere near. People are saying it's like a Pixar movie. I was nowhere near tearing up like I would at almost any Pixar movie. Producer Aly is here. Producer Aly, what's the last movie you saw?
The last one I saw was actually the horror movie Barbarian. I saw that over the weekend, which it's been out for a couple years, but it's a really good horror movie. It's one of my favorites. It's really good at kind of subverting expectation, which I appreciate.
I think I remember that one. I didn't see it. Justin Long's in it though, right?
Yes.
What happens in it? Don't spoil it.
I was going to say, I can't really spoil it.
I probably will never see it, but for anybody else, don't spoil it for them.
Right. Well, basically, the setup is there's a girl that needs to stay at an Airbnb and someone else is staying there. It's double booked. Mm-hmm. So that
sounds like a nightmare already.
Right. That's a terrible situation you don't want to end up in. And yeah, pretty much it makes you think that's the main storyline, but there's really other things going on.
Yeah. Well, that's so you give it a thumbs up though.
Absolutely. Love it.
That sounds much too scary for me though, since it's an actual horror movie. I watched, outside of The Wild Robot, the other movie I watched recently, very seasonably appropriate, but not a horror movie, Hubie Halloween. Have you seen Hubie Halloween?
I have not. I've not heard of this.
Do you know anything about Hubie Halloween?
I don't.
So I could just make up a bunch of stuff right now.
Yeah, you could, and I'd buy it.
It's Adam Sandler. He's a guy who loves Halloween. He's a lovable dork, but for reasons, I'm not making this up. This is actually what happens in the movie. For reasons that are unclear to just about everybody. I've seen the movie twice now, which is surprising, I suppose. For reasons that are unclear to me after 2 viewings, I don't know why everybody in the town hates him besides that he's just kind of like a childish adult. But it seems like they've always hated him. And, spoiler alert, the movie ends with everybody in the town kind of realizing that Hubie's not that bad of a guy and they should love him even though he's weird. It is not that funny. It is a vibe, though. It's perfect for Halloween because it takes place in Salem and like everything, like it doesn't feel like a Halloween movie because it's scary. It feels like a Halloween movie because everybody's like in costumes a lot and there's decorations. So it's a vibe for Halloween for sure.
Hocus pocus type vibe.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. 100%. And, for all the funny people in it, I'll sum it up with this. All the funny people in it, you'd think it would be funnier. You've got like Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, who's not like a funny guy, but he can be very funny. He's kind of goofy in the movie. Tim Meadows, Shaq shows up again, inexplicably. His role is the weirdest one of all. I will not spoil where he shows up, but it's very unexpected. But Hubie Halloween, it's a thumb, like it's not thumbs down. What's the middle? Like my thumb is
neutral.
My thumb is horizontal towards Hubie Halloween, but it is a vibe for Halloween. In college football right now, it feels like there's no real number one team. Yeah, there's still a few teams that are undefeated. Yes, Oregon is ranked number one, but it doesn't feel like anybody's like a true standout number one like you have most seasons. There's not even like a standout number two. There's just like a kind of like 8 teams that you're like, yeah, they're pretty good. NFL, different. The Chiefs beat the 49ers on the road in a Super Bowl rematch yesterday. The Chiefs are the clear number one in the NFL. Everybody's rushing to say that the Ravens are just as good as the Chiefs. Then how come they didn't beat them? The Chiefs are clearly number one because they're beating all these good teams and they're not even like, they don't even look that good doing it. Like they're beating these teams and it feels like they're not even trying their full strength. And look, the Chiefs are not going to go undefeated, but you look down their schedule. They've played all their tougher teams for the most part already. And so you look at the schedule and you're like, find me a game where they are going to lose. Again, they're going to lose at some point, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be for a while. You're not going to be able to guess. It's just going to randomly happen when they finally, like, they're not really putting a full effort forward. Finally comes back to bite them. But man, the Chiefs, like, until we get to the playoffs and they have to start playing, some of the other great teams from the NFC, I don't know when the Chiefs are really going to be challenged. They might not be till the Super Bowl. The other big headline from the NFL yesterday, Deshaun Watson getting injured. Some people were like booing him off the field as he gets injured, which is a real bad move. Is anybody else? I'm not a Browns fan. I was confused. Why did Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR they call him, come in instead of Jameis Winston? All we've been hearing for weeks is the Browns need to bench Deshaun Watson because he sucks and put in Jameis Winston, see what he can do. And then the backup quarterback isn't even Jameis Winston. You did eventually get to see him at the end of the game. And from what I gather, it looked much better with Jameis Winston than Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson, look, doesn't seem like a good guy, but you still can't boo a guy for getting injured. But I feel like for the Browns, this does like, this is so wrong to say, but it's like the best case scenario for them because they spent so much money on him. They couldn't just bench him. You had to give him a shot for a while. Now they're kind of out of that situation, but they're also probably out of the playoffs at this point. And oh yeah, how could I talk about the NFL without talking about my Green Bay Packers who get the comeback win? Jordan Love orchestrates a game-winning drive as the clock expires to beat CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. You love to see it. I think that is who's going to challenge the Chiefs this year. I think that's our Super Bowl matchup because, my Aaron Rodgers-led Jets aren't getting there. Does this sound like a good vacation to you? The Hudson Show on RadioU. You're out on a trip. You're a tourist in China. And one of the things your dad's like, hey, come on, kids, hop in the car. We're going to try to catch boars with our bare hands. That is now something that you can do in a certain region of China where they actually allow visitors to chase after wild boars. And if you catch it, you can, if you so choose, take it home for free. I guess the idea is these things are pretty hard to catch. Also, they can weigh up to 600 pounds and run up to 43 miles an hour. So, yeah, you're going to have a tough time catching these. Probably a good workout, though, I would think, trying to keep up with these wild boars. They do say that the boars that you can actually chase are technically not wild, but I mean, they might as well be. And they also have no tusks. So you don't have to worry about that at least. But I don't know if you've ever like dealt with a pig they don't have to have tusks to still be dangerous. They're still large. They can like bite you. They're just not exactly fun to deal with. So some people might consider this fun. I guess I see the challenge. It's cooler than shooting them with a gun, 100%. But I still don't know if I'm man enough for this. You may remember a few months ago, Chick-fil-A announced that they were going to be doing their own. It sounds ridiculous to say it. It still does, even though it's becoming more and more real. They're creating their own original content, as in like shows and movies on their own streaming service app. Apparently that app now exists. It's called the Chick-fil-A Play app. And they've just put out a trailer for the first show that is going to be a Chick-fil-A original series. What a wild phrase to say. And so producer Aly and I have watched the trailer for the show that's coming to Chick-fil-A's app on November 18th. It's called Legends of Evergreen Hills. Aly, what is your first thoughts on Chick-fil-A's foray into the streaming business?
I love it. I love it mainly because it's free. And I feel like a lot of streaming services now just want to, take your money and run. So I appreciate that Chick-fil-A is jumping into the game, kind of getting on the bandwagon here. Maybe a little late. We don't know. But they realize they're a little bit late because they are not charging people for this app and not charging people for this content.
That would actually be wild based off of this trailer. And it's not like it looks bad, but if they were like, and this is going to be $4.99 a month, I'd be like, well, that feels a little steep. But for free, how can you complain? By the way, the app not only... it sounds so crazy to say, but the app also includes recipes and games you can play as well, in addition to at least this one original series that, by the way, is clear. Like, this is clearly for kids. In the article I'm looking at, they compare it to shows that used to be on PBS Kids. Like, it looks like that quality. Yeah. To me, I don't know about that, but like, when like you were a kid and you'd go to Redbox or something and like, they have Kung Fu Panda on there, but they'd also have like Kick Chop Panda or something like that. And you're like, this kind of looks close enough to fool you as a 6-year-old. And not that this is a blatant ripoff of anything. It's just like that kind of quality. It's like, well, this doesn't look like a real show, but it looks like good enough for kids to be happy with it.
It's like the Wish version of something.
Yeah, exactly.
TV version.
Exactly. And kids will watch, pretty much anything. They'll definitely watch much stupider things than this, and it's free. And I feel like moms will probably be like, yeah, maybe I get coupons for you watching this show, so I'm into it,
Absolutely. I told you off the air, but I remember babysitting kids, and if I ever have to watch another episode of Blippi, I think I might rip my eyes out. So it's true.
I feel like
kids will enjoy content that we might be surprised.
This, as far as Blippi goes, like, this will drive less parents insane. I will tell you that. I will tell you that. And it's Chick-fil-A. So I guess what's not to love? They're not hurting anybody with this.
No.
So there you go. The Legends of Evergreen Hills, brought to you by Chick-fil-A for free, coming up on November 18th. Not proud of this, but I'm not a great driver. Now, I have been largely accident-free for a while. I've had one minor fender bender in like the last several years. So I think that's pretty good. But one of the things I have done before, and many of us have done this, right, is backed into somebody else's car by accident. Why do I even need to say that? Why would you intentionally? I backed into somebody's car. And when I backed into somebody's car, it was a friend of mine. It was dark. It was their driveway. It was out in the country. And a common mistake. And so when my friend found out, he was not super angry. Maybe because it was dark and it was, an easy mistake to make, but maybe it's because he was my friend. Whereas if I had backed into somebody's car at Trader Joe's, I feel like if somebody was sitting in that car and found out that I backed into their car, they would have got out. What would they probably have done? Like, they would have sized me up and be like, I can take this guy. And they would have beat me up. That's exactly what would have happened because I can't fight anybody. And isn't that so true? Think about yourself. Isn't your reaction to every situation so dependent on your relationship to the person? Somebody can do something wrong to you. If it's your friend, you're more likely to go, you know what? Yeah, it's a mistake. You didn't mean it. We're all cool, right? But if it's somebody you don't know, you get instantly upset. Well, many of us think that the mistakes we've made in our life are things that are going to make God upset, that he's up there getting upset at us because we've made some minor mistakes along the way. But the truth is, God sees you as a friend. The same way that you can let a lot of your friends' stuff just kind of slide off because it's like, it's a mistake. We're cool. We're friends. I know they didn't mean it. That's how God sees you. Jesus is your friend. He doesn't want to be upset with you. He isn't upset with you. Mistakes happen. We all have times where we trip up in life, but it's not the end of the world. It's not making God upset with you. He still loves you, and he wants to be a part of your life. If you want to experience that, start talking to God. Find out what kind of friend he can be for you. Say, hey, Jesus, I'm ready for that relationship. I want you in my life. Show me what you can do for me and how you can help. And he will. You want to know more? RadioU.com/free gift. It's a great place to start. Maybe getting a little late in the game to go ahead and find a cool, fun Halloween costume, something trendy. But Google did just put out their Frightgeist list, the top trending Halloween costume searches for this year. Let's take a look at the list. We've got coming in at number 10. We'll count them down. Lady Deadpool. That makes sense. With Deadpool and Wolverine, of course. Number 9, Sabrina Carpenter. You just, that one's easy. You just think, what would somebody that says, yoo-hoo, boys, wear? And you wear that. You're Sabrina Carpenter. Dr. Doom. People getting ahead of the game on that one with, Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Red from The Descendants is number 7. Envy from Inside Out. It's weird. I was looking at the rest of the list. Why is Envy the only one from Inside Out in the top 10? Why is that the character everybody wants to dress as? I don't know, but it's number 6. Pomni, number 5. I looked that up, not familiar with it. 4 is Dolores from Beetlejuice. 3, Catnap from Poppy's Playtime. 2, this is going to be way overdone. Ray Gun, the Australian breakdancer from the Olympics. We're still doing that. It feels like that's a little out. Like, I know it was only a couple months ago. It feels like we've all moved past that, but apparently not. And then number 1, Beetlejuice back on top. Shrunken Head Bob is going to be the most popular costume. You're going to see that way more this year. Now, that's for humans, but more importantly, let's talk about the top trending costumes for dogs. Number 5, Beetlejuice, of course. Number 4, a basketball. You're dressing your dog up as a basketball or like a basketball player. I don't know. 3, obvious, hot dog. 2, Stegosaurus. That's like the goat, like the generic dog costume. But then number 1, I love this. The number 1 trending costume for dogs, dog pool. Come on. That is, it is going to be way overdone, I'm sure, but it's also going to be cute pretty much every single time. Producer Aly is here with me. Aly, yesterday on the show, we did the box office breakdown. You said you had just watched which movie?
Barbarian.
What kind of horror movie would you call that?
I would consider it to be somewhere in between like a slasher and also more like thriller-esque.
Okay.
It's definitely not hardcore slasher where it's just, blood and gore everywhere, but it still has those elements in it.
What? So you're into horror movies?
Yes.
Is that just for the Halloween thing, or do you watch them all year round?
All year round.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What I have here, a survey that basically, it's a study that basically tells you what your favorite kind of like Halloween movie says about you. So what would you say is like your favorite, like you just watched Barbarian, but what would you say is your actual favorite genre of horror or Halloween movie?
So I would say there's several films that I watch around Halloween time, and it's not, I guess the number one that I'll probably give you is not like a Halloween movie, but it's just the one that I always watch during Halloween, and that's Scream. I usually try and rewatch the whole franchise of films.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
I think there is. Do you sound like, I think based off of this survey, I believe you have a disorder. I think you have an actual, there's something. That's what they said. They said you should get some help if you watch all the Scream movies. That's literally denoted here. What would you, is that like a slasher? Like is it really gory? Do you watch, because I have never seen the Scream movies.
Really?
I know which one I am based off of this is that I am a scaredy cat, and that means that I'm I didn't need this survey to tell me, but that I'm not a very brave individual. But what about you?
For me, I go pretty much hardcore with any type of horror film. The only horror films that I don't like watching are the really bad, like gory ones. Those ones I can't.
Oh, so that's where
I
you
can't
cut it
handle.
off.
I kind of
Like-
draw the line
Like
there.
the Terrifier.
Yeah, Terrifier.
Saw.
I have watched Saw, but I don't enjoy those type of films.
I feel like nobody should need to say like if the sentence is I've watched Saw and I enjoyed it.
No, I did not
think
enjoy
that is a sign that you just need help. I'm sorry. I just don't understand. It's just I don't even get why that would appeal to anybody.
Yeah, no, there are people that enjoy those type of films, but I am not one of those people.
Yeah, no, it says that likely here from what I gather, it sounds like you probably experienced some kind of horror as a child. Whether in a movie or like an actual horror, and then like you've continued to enjoy it since.
Yeah, I did watch Jaws at a very young age, which is kind of horror-esque, a
Yeah.
little bit thrillery, and you know, get you on the edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely pushed the boundaries of the type of films I could watch at a young age, just to get myself a little bit more scared.
Yeah, that is what I gather here is that you don't like turn 25 and you've never liked horror movies, and then you go, oh. All right, Terrifier, here we go. That does not happen. You start at a very young age. You're a child, and I'm convinced that watching a horror movie is a type of trauma, but like for some reason you recreate it and it feels, I don't know. I think there's definitely something there.
I'm still afraid of the ocean.
Scientists should study that. We've got a food fight. NayNay is here. NayNay, thank you for picking up the food from Burger King today. What are you doing?
I have it here with me. The big old thick whopper! Look at this thing. Didn't we see this somewhere on social media? How did we find out about this again?
I don't know. Did you tell me?
I can't remember who said something. Aly, was it you that said something?
Producer Aly.
I think I did. I think I saw it. We both saw it at the same time.
Oh, that's right. We saw this Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
But see, there's something special about this Whopper that makes it different than the rest. It's a purple Whopper. It's purple.
Now, okay, purple Whopper for the Addams family, whatever they're doing at Burger King. Why did you get like the whole meal?
Because I was hungry. And I knew that this was a food fight, that I'd be like, there's no way I'm not gonna like this. Let me just get the whole thing. Look, it even comes with a kooky chocolate shake. And then there's Things Rings. It's just another fancy name to call onion rings. And then there's, what's this? Oh, they got churros in there, too. We got the whole meal, guys.
Yeah.
The whole meal.
Aly, wouldn't it be fun if we got the whole meal, too?
Yeah, what's up with that,
I got y'all a burger.
that we had to split.
Hey, that's the love. See, it would have been really rude if I just didn't get you anything. But I got y'all something.
All right. We're not going to have you on a food fight ever again after this.
Well, come on.
Okay,
Don't act like y'all haven't enjoyed this.
Here's what I want to know, NayNay. Is this supposed to be a purple burger with a purple bun? But I'm looking at the Burger King website.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, you can look at this too. It says directly on the front page of Burger King's website, it shows a picture of the purple burger. It says, purple bun not guaranteed.
Wait, so what is it? Purple meat? Purple
No, I
tomato?
mean, I think the idea is
purple
like
meat.
you go and you just get a regular Whopper.
What if it was a pink burger and they had pink meat and it just wasn't cooked?
That would be
That would be so
that
bad.
would be scary.
That would be.
So we need to know if they actually gave us a purple burger or not.
Okay, so can I like open this now to
Yeah,
find
do a
out?
big reveal on camera to see.
Wait. You can hear the
ASMR.
ASMR, the whistling and the rustling. The reveal is here. Oh wow, that is a purple burger. Guys, look at this. Look at this.
Whoa, that's
It's
way more.
purple.
Hey.
Bro. Oh my goodness. Can confirm the meat is not purple. This is so weird. Like you used to seeing the red tomatoes,
Yeah.
the green lettuce, the white onions, but seeing purple on a burger is so different.
Quite frankly,
Whoa.
I don't really eat any purple things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what things are purple.
Those purple onions, which are nasty.
Okay.
And that purple stuff that's in salad sometimes, I also pull that out.
No, I don't eat salads.
And grapes kind of are purple.
Oh,
but
I like grapes. Yeah,
they're okay.
Now, eggplants, though?
Eggplants, no, thank you.
I'm good.
What about an eggplant parm? Either of you guys go for an eggplant parm?
I don't even know what that looks like.
Nah.
No, I mean, why would you eat an eggplant parm when you could have a chicken parm?
Why would you talk about eating an eggplant parm when you got a purple burger you can't eat? All right.
It sure is
I'm about
purple.
to sink my teeth in this mud. Here we go, baby. Ah.
It tastes like a Whopper. It's literally a Whopper with a purple bun.
I need to try this.
And NayNay looks disappointed. Are you disappointed?
Burger King, I have hated you for so long. I have dissed you for so long. I can't stand the way you make your food. But today, exclusively and only today, you are forgiven.
It's actually pretty good. You got any of that other stuff to share? Or
Oh, yeah. Do you want one of Things, Rings, Onion Rings?
Yeah. Oh, one?
Yeah, one. Yes. But Aly, would you like one too?
Sure.
See, there we go. See, I share the food that I went and got.
That's good.
Baby, come on.
I mean, like in the world of onion rings, is it good? No. But
I like
is it good to
nothing.
just have? Yeah.
I like nothing about Halloween, but if we can keep this whole like themed food thing, I'll be all right with it. I can roll with that.
I got one last question for you guys. Is the Burger King Whopper actually like, I don't like Burger King either, but is their Whopper possibly the best between Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King?
No, I still take
best
the
of the
Big Mac, bro. I'm sorry.
Aly?
And I worked at Wendy's too, so Big Mac, man.
I do like some of their burgers. I actually like their bacon burger the best. So I don't
Burger King.
typically eat their Whopper that much.
That's all right. It doesn't have bacon on it. Come on. That's the only way. No, that's not true. But it would be better with bacon. But it's still good. This is good. This is a good burger, but it's also just a burger with a purple bun.
Can we just look at this purple burger again? Like, what? Like, this is so crazy. Like, that's so crazy.
And
So cool, by the way.
These are the opportunities that RadioU
How is it
gives us.
purple? Did we ever address that? Like, how is it purple? Do we know?
You don't want to know. You.
Oh, that's so bad. And I bit into it. We all bit into it. That's crazy, dude.
There's a new fastest robot in the world. Say hello to the Chinese robot Star One. It's 5 feet, 7 inches, 143 pounds of speed. They found that the key to making this robot the new fastest robot in the world is putting sneakers on it. They needed to add shoes, and that is what actually helped this robot go from like pretty fast to the fastest bipedal robot in the world. Now, you're probably picturing something very fast in your mind. You're thinking a robot that could, like attack you from a mile away in the blink of an eye. It runs 8 miles an hour. For context, like you could easily outrun that. A human can run like up to, I think humans can run up to like 20 miles an hour or something. So as fast as this robot is, you still don't have to worry about it chasing you down. It says here, the average human sprinting speed about 10 to 14 miles an hour. So no matter how slow you are, you're still probably faster than this robot. That's a relief to me. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.